All right, today on the project 1.7 1971 914, we are going to work on ignition. Got it running, but it's a little rough. Ended up doing a points and plugs change. Still running a little funny. So I think what we're going to do today is install the Pertronix igniter. So let's get this bad boy rolling, and I'll get the distributor out. We'll go from there. Remove some vacuum lines. Got to take this sucker off, and to get it we need a crow's foot. Get Mr. Crow's foot down in there, because it's down in there, and you gotta kind of get to it. So let's see if we can. Got it loose. Out comes the screw. I mean the nut. Out comes the nut. Now we're going to gently unplug here and wiggle this little sucker out. Mostly out. There we go. Clear the wires, and out we have our distributor. All right, time to go into the shop, start monkeying with it. All right, here we are. Got it reasonably loosely clamped down. I don't want to go too hard. We're going to pull the rotor off. Okay, now need to remove our points, so we got to take that first. And this is the clip that holds in the rubber piece for the connection for the condenser. And we want to save the condenser and all these parts because you can use them later on should this thing fail for some reason, which they're not prone to do is what I've been told. But there's our condenser. Put that off to the side. And we'll go ahead and remove our coil, our points. Okay, and like I said, we're going to save all that situation over there. Everything looks pretty good. I had wiped this down the other day, so there's no grease on it. So yes, I know there's supposed to be grease. The play is not too bad either. All right, so let's open up our box here, see what we get. We got some instructions. Gonna move that situation there and put the situation here. Kind of dump it out. Anything else? Empty box. All right, we have got what appears to be our electronic unit. It's got a positive and negative. Got two spacer plates, and we got a couple items here. We got our magnet pickup. So, from what I can tell, this situation gets fed through the holes. Let's see if this works. Well, that's a problem already. Okay, barely gets fed through the hole. I don't know that the other one's going to make it. Two nuts, and we've got a screw. So the way this works is, first thing we do is we put down this adapter plate. So I'll show you a top view. This adapter plate comes down, there's a hole right there, and that adapter plate has to line up with that hole. So that's the first thing we got to do. So let's get that rolling. Okay. And you don't have to kill it when you tighten it down, just nicely. All right, so what's going to happen is once I get those wires fished through, is this piece now will come on top of here, and it gives you a little bit of adjustment room for that shim. Once we get a better angle here, it'll allow us to adjust. So I'm going to fish those wires through, get the grommet all set up, and then we'll come back. Okay, got the wires fished through, got our grommet here in place, keep the moisture out. We've put this down in place. All it does is slip over, route the wires nicely, and then we're going to put these two small nuts on top. You're not going to tighten them both down just yet. And what the instructions say is once you get these two things snug, or at least on, then you can put the magnetic rotor on and space it, much like you would a points gap. So they say this piece will come down on top, and it does have a top and a bottom, so the part number is likely going to be on top. If you can see that, underneath it's got a little bit of a step, so we're going to try to find where it'll kind of seat. So let me see if there's anything to this while I hold the bottom. Yep, it kind of seats all the way down. Okay, so now here's an important thing to notice. The instructions say that these two levels here have to be the same. So they've given us another spacer here in order to put underneath this piece to bring this up level. So I'm going to have to take this apart now and put this spacer underneath it so that we are level. Otherwise it will not work. So we're going to take this back apart. Be right back. Alright, just to show you how this works. Spacer is going to come on top. Going to go there. And then we're going to lay our Pertronix one back down on top. And we're going to put those locking nuts back down. So here we go. Bit of drag. So you can see that better. Just putting enough drag in there. We don't want a bigger space, otherwise we won't get a good set of contacts. And that's, so far, that's it. So now we're going to go back to the car, put the distributor back in, see what happens. Okay, Pertronix says red to positive, black to negative. This side of the coil on this car, because it has a little plus and a minus, it's going to go here. Whoops. This one, it's going to go here. Alright, vacuum lines are on. Everything seems to be plugged in, and I guess we'll give it a shot. Screwing around with it. O'Reilly's had a Pertronix setup, and here we go. Pertronix works great. I don't have to fuck with it. $85, it was worth it.